guys hear me okay?
Yes.
Good evening, weirdos, and welcome to another edition of LIVIN, CRUDDY. I'm your host, Handsome Jimmy. As always, the Supreme Vinny is here to join us. Look how pretty he looks today. And the perennial Gino. Also here, it is Dr. Gangrene Glasses, because our guest this week is Dr. Gangrene!
My hair has turned into a crazy gray Q-tip.
How's mine?
You guys threw me off when I came on, and you're all in proper lab attire. I'm very impressed, fellas. I wasn't going to wear the lab coat. I had to go get it and throw it on here.
All right, well, we've been waiting for you to come back. Are you ready for Halloween?
Yes, I am getting there. Got several appearances at the end of the month and doing my annual Halloween countdown over on YouTube, and then getting episodes ready for the show airing on NECAT. So, yeah, it's been busy.
Awesome. I don't know if you've met Vinny before.
It's a pleasure to meet you finally.
Yeah, you too. Have we met in person before?
No, but as a matter of fact, I sent you a little comment on YouTube when you were talking about Zachary's paperbacks. And I was just ordering the minute that I saw that. Yes, I finally got mine, this and a Vulture stew. The glue was falling apart.
I was going to say the same thing. I bought mine. One of them was in great condition. The other one, all the pages fell out of it.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that sucks.
Good thing they're numbered.
Well, Vinny took over, and he actually is from Baltimore, and he lives someplace in Pennsylvania, but he's a huge horror fan. He's got this monstrous list of horror movies that he continually counts down. We asked him to come on due to his personality and vast horror knowledge. So he's been doing it for a couple weeks now.
Awesome. That's a good thing to have. Vast horror knowledge. That's a good thing.
We're doing movies a couple nights a week, and he stumbled across that and then just got so into it that he kind of became part of it. I don't know if he was around when we did the other interview with you. You remember, Vinny?
No, it wasn't.
That was before you came by. Okay.
Right, yeah.
Well, the last time we talked to Dr. Gangrene, we were all hoping that we could put together the horror hootenanny for this year, and shit went a little south.
Yes.
Or completely sideways in 2021. We
will get another one done at some point. I mentioned doing live shows. The last one of the month, I was asked by a local record shop, The Groove, there in Nashville, over in East Nashville. They're doing a rock and roll show the night before Halloween and asked me if I would come introduce it. So it's sort of like the hootenanny. It's going to have spooky bands all day. It's going to be, they've got vendors set up at tables like we did, but they're going to have a costume contest for kids, one for dogs, which will be fun. And then I think an adult one too. And then at night, it'll flip over to bands, and there'll be bands playing all night long, but it's all outside, unlike the hootenanny. So I feel pretty good about it, you know?
Well, that's good. That's good. As long as you're safe.
Absolutely.
Feels like 2022 will be the year that we can come back and pull this shit off.
Yeah,
So,
inside stuff, I'm still not real comfortable with inside stuff.
Yeah, no, definitely not right now.
Although I will be doing something at the Belcourt here in a couple of weeks. They're making everyone show proof of vaccination at the door, so that makes you feel better. And I know they installed new air handler systems in there, and it's 1/3 capacity. I think it'll be fine.
Put on your mask and be as safe as you can. So what's going on in the world of your show these days?
Well, gearing up for Halloween, I had to take a break for a little while. Shot a bunch of stuff early in the year, and then I took a break. Come back this fall here. Had to get some stuff ready for October. Got for at least 4 new episodes that are going to air here in October, and then some more after that, you know, going forward. But just getting the first of those will air this weekend with House on Haunted Hill, which of course Elvira just showed, and everybody in the world just watched it. So
that doesn't matter.
It doesn't. I mean, you can watch Vincent Price again anytime, right? I mean, anybody, you can always watch Vincent. It's always
If you haven't seen House on Haunted Hill, you're not a horror fan anyway, so it's going to be a repeat no matter what.
That's true.
I've got the poster in my kitchen, by the way.
Oh, awesome.
Vinny lives in the House on Haunted Hill.
Yeah.
The Ghost of Restless there.
So is it still the same? You're still on NECAT Network and doing the same time and all that stuff before?
That's right. It's Saturdays at 9:00 on Nashville's NECAT channel, which is Nashville Education and Community Access Television, the public access station. It comes on channel 19 in Nashville, or if you're outside the Nashville area, you can see it on the Roku. They have a Roku channel. Search for NECAT, NECAT, and you'll find it. So it's the live stream that runs there. And they also live stream it on their website, which is necatnetwork.org. So you can watch a live stream there also.
Awesome. So it's stayed pretty steady for a while now then.
Yeah, and I've run reruns, you know, when I wasn't filming from, you know, March until October here.
Well, we talked to Cameron. I don't know if you saw his episode.
I did.
Okay, cool. And he was filling us in on, all the stuff during the
It's interesting because I'm doing all the filming, all the editing, everything is all me. It's kind of a one-man show this time around, except some of these new episodes that we're shooting for October. 2 of them we shot at the cable access station in Nashville because one was with Cameron. We're showing his movie, The Last Man. And so I had him interviewing him. So it's me and him in front of a green screen for the majority of the episode. And the other one is with Donald Farmer doing the same thing.
Cool. So you finally did show The Last Man, huh?
Not yet. It's coming up this month.
Oh, it's coming.
Yeah.
What week is that?
It'll probably be the 9th. Okay, it's the next week after that will be Cameron.
Okay.
And for those of you out there who haven't seen it, it's The Last Man. It's a slasher movie, independent movie. Gino did some music for it. Cameron shot it all in the Nashville and Southern Kentucky area. It stars Stacy Dixon, Ben Dixon's wife. Stacy is the owner of Slaughterhouse, a haunted house. Ben and Stacy run the theater over there together.
Ben and Stacy's theater is called the Full Moon
Cineplex. I did it first.
Yeah.
I said it first.
He
even tries to dress like me when I try to dress like you.
I have that problem too. Everybody wants to dress. I'm such a fashion plate.
I just want to be Gene being Larry.
So it was.
I'm the only one. I got my Sir Cecil creep.
I know I lost mine.
I don't even know if Dr.
Unofficial.
Gangrene has one of those on right now. So.
Yes, indeed. So,
Look at that. See that?
I got 3rd place.
at the Hoot last year when the Creeping Crudds all came out dressed as Dr. Gangrene, I thought it was the sexiest show they've ever done by far.
Well, let me ask you this, because I've asked a lot of the horror fans this. What was it in your childhood, that moment that said, that's what I love? I love horror movies. I love monster movies. What was that moment?
I don't know of any one, but I can tell you there was a television show on Saturday afternoons called The Big Show, the Nashville area, that showed all those Universal monster movies. It was weekday afternoons, so I'd come home after school and they'd be showing King Kong, or they might be showing a week of Frankenstein movies or a week of Mummy movies. That pretty much did it right there. Anytime that stuff was on TV, I'm sure all you guys are the same way. When it came on, it was a big deal. I mean, you'd flip it on and be so excited. There it is. What is this?
You'd have to get the TV guide and just look ahead, what's coming up, and highlight everything.
We were just looking at the TV guide listings and how that it was a kind of a nostalgic reminder of how you used to find horror movies, and you would map them out for the week.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go through those things front to back and mark them in, and it would always be, you'd always want this, but you got that.
Right, but you were happy for anything you got.
Oh,
and then you find some stuff that way that you wouldn't have ordinarily watched. But favorite 70s stuff like Omega Man and and 60s stuff like House on Haunted Hill. That's probably the first Vincent Price movie, 50s movie that I ever saw. House on Haunted Hill. Saw the same way, just saw it on TV. But stuff like Planet of the Apes and Omega Man, you would see all that stuff on TV, and before there were spoilers, so we didn't know, the secret of Planet of the Apes, the ending, or Soylent Green, the twists in those movies. And
my big problem was reading Famous Monsters all the time and seeing all these movies and just waiting for TV stations to play them, and they never would. It would frustrate me. So then finally when video was invented, that's great, but it was only half of the story. There's still things missing.
They didn't license those movies to where the TV station could show them.
Yeah.
They would have those packages, and so you would get the same movies over and over and over.
Unfortunately, yeah.
And I know Dr. Gangrene knows a lot more about that than we do, but I recall that my experience was you would get a package of 30, 40 movies that ran continually on the various creature features and the afternoon showings, and you would always be on the lookout for like that one that was missing. I was always trying to catch House of Frankenstein. They would never show it.
Right.
They just never would come on. You see House of Dracula, all the other ones, and that thing did. And finally it came on. I'm like, oh shit, stay up real late to watch it.
All about the licensing. I saw someone bugging Svengoolie recently about why he wasn't showing. I think it was House of Frankenstein, and he said,
"Oh, really?
Right. I think it was that one."
Oh, I'm in the Svengoolie group on Facebook, and it is a horror show of people complaining about what he shows and why don't you show this? Why don't you show that? Oh, that movie sucked. You showed it before 2 years ago. I'm like, you should just be appreciative that he's doing this and you're getting to see anything on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. The convenience factor that people deal with now has kind of ruined the value of being able to see stuff.
Yeah.
So what was it the moment that you decided you wanted to be a horror host? Was that something from the childhood as well?
I met our local guy, Sir Cecil Creep, once when I got this patch here at a Boy Scout event. And when I moved to Hendersonville, when I got married, I lived in Nashville for a while. After a couple of years, we moved up here to Hendersonville. And I met a guy who had a cable access show, was talking to him about how he did it. I had actually looked into cable access, the process, about 10 years before then. I went to a class and looked into it, and they were talking about renting cameras and this and that. And it was a little more than I could do at the time. I just never followed through on it. But the idea was in the back of my mind. So I was asking Jack, his name's Jack Wood, about his show. And he said, you want to do this, don't you? And I went, man, I don't know. It sounds like a lot of work. He said, no, I think you should, Larry. I think you'd be good at it. It just sort of all just came together in my head. I was like, yeah, I think I will. And I think I'll do a horror host show. Immediately, the first thing I thought of, the first thing I wanted to do, nothing like it on TV at the time in Nashville. So I thought, you know what, this will be fun. Let's try it. So,
and you've subsequently made friends with the majority of the known horror hosts, right?
Yeah. I mean, not like I haven't met Elvira, but I did meet Zachary and got to know him some. And I've met Joe Bob a couple of times. Svengoolie and I are friendly, talk online and have messaged each other back and forth a bit. And then I know a lot of the other hosts who have started up around the time I have, or just shortly after. I know all those guys pretty much, a lot of them. So yeah,
but all those guys like Count Gore and the ones that are, all those dudes.
Oh yeah, and Count Gore, of course. Count Gore's great. He's a legend. Yeah. Well,
you guys grew up with all these great horror hosts. I mean, I grew up in Baltimore, and we had. I hate to say it, he was the one guy we had Ghost Host, but he recorded all his segments years before, and he did 3 breaks, and he's just doing his voiceover for each movie, and that was it. He didn't even try, and but he was the only guy we had, so he was great. And honestly, compared to all the guys, he's boring. But before we had cable, you moved the rabbit ears just enough, and we were able to get from DC Count Gore, and that show he did. He had guests, and every week was a different show. It's fantastic. So it was just that was the best until we got cable. We could finally see a show, and then that's it. There goes local programming. That's gone.
Yeah.
Well, you still had me beat. I had Creature Feature in West Palm Beach, and the horror host was a video graphic of a drippy tree that said the same thing every week. It was just a pre-recorded thing. They didn't have anybody talking. They would just show this tree. It was like almost like a black light picture, but it was moved a little bit. And then they had this little bit where they would say, oh, it's time for Creature Feature, a little rhyme that they would do. And then they would cut to the movie. No host, nothing.
Well, at least you had an intro. Our NBC affiliate on Friday night was Chiller Theater. It was just a picture from The Haunting, and then here's a movie from the 70s. That was it. That's all we had. Although very briefly they had an intro. It was an arm chained up, and a knife is cutting into the arm, and blood's squirting out, and it says Chiller. Well, they got a lot of hate mail because of that. There goes that.
So what are you gonna do? I guess that all those stations had budgets and stuff, and they didn't want to.
Once the network saw that you can make money, 3:00 in the morning, there went all the local programming. The kids today, they have no idea how much fun it was to step 3 in the morning to watch a movie or a rerun. Those were great times.
It happened to the best. I'm going to ditch the goggles here because it's strangling my brain. I'm trying to salvage what's left.
Hey, Gino, share screen.
Dude, what are those things? Do you get those weird boob marks on your head at the end of the night, Dr. Gangrene?
Oh, yeah.
And these black eyes, I didn't have to do anything. They're just there.
I discovered Dr. Gangrene on the American Scary DVD. So that documentary,
Well, the American Scary DVD was a lot of that was filmed at the very first Horror Hootenanny.
I'm going to watch it again.
Yeah, that's Dr. Gangrene's there, and the interviews with Psychocharger were done. That was all at the Horror Hootenanny #1.
That's right, it was. My interview bits, we went to the producer's mom's house and shot it at his mom's house. They had set a chair up with some curtains behind and lit it. You could never tell where it was, but I was super tired because we had been at the convention all day long. So it was like 10 hours later, and then we drove over there, and then so it was late at night. I'm tired from being on all day, so I'm pretty low key in the documentary, more so than I would have been if we'd done it first thing in the morning, for sure. Right. Oh well, I was glad to be in it. When
they asked you about Elvira, you said hubba hubba. I remember that.
About Elvira, right? Yep.
And that seems like so long ago now. We're talking pushing 20 years, really.
Yeah. I don't remember, 04 or something like that. When did we do the first Hootenanny? I think it was 04, 05.
Yeah, I think it was 04.
Yeah. And when was the last one? Was 2019, right?
Oh Jesus. We really don't need to do that.
Oh, whoa, what is that? That guy looks amazing.
Oh, good.
That dick saying.
Our fake Dr. Gangrene.
Nice.
That's it, I think. Oh, there's Bo. Pre-vax. Oh, he looks like he's squeezing one out.
Oh,
there we go.
Oh, yeah.
These are awesome. I love these.
Yes.
You're
You could
welcome.
have found better pictures than that, man. Look at
That's all we had on our page.
these marks.
Jimmy, who was your horror host?
Yeah, we had creature feature with no live person. They had a guy in the 60s that did like the chiller thing, dressed up as a ghost or whatever. That was all they had in my town. The horror in where I grew up was out the window. You just look out the window and it was horrific.
Well, that was definitely in Florida where I live. That was the same thing.
Right. Oh yeah, you guys had more serial killers per capita than we did. So.
The goggles cover up Jimmy's cruddy forehead.
That's right, my hairline.
His cruddy hairline.
Yeah, there we go. That's even better, right?
All right, Dr. Gangrene. So what have you seen recently that we need to know of so we can go watch it?
I've been watching a lot of mad science movies, and for this countdown I did on YouTube, this year's Halloween countdown was mad scientist movies. So I've been pouring through mad scientist / Monsters Gone Wild. So the caveat is it has to be a mad science movie where he creates a monster that runs amok, not just any plain mad science. Been watching a lot of those. Been watching a lot of Karloff's Thriller episodes because I love that series. Just was watching the latest Creep Show episode tonight.
What's your take on the more recent Creep shows?
I like them. I tell you, it still bugs me that the creep doesn't talk. I just can't get past it.
You and Vinny with the middle breakdowns are having problems with. He doesn't like the Creep Show 2 stuff, the cartoon.
Okay, I got you.
What do you think about the cartoon bits in Creep Show 2?
In Creep Show 2, I like them fine.
See, now I think I don't know if Jimmy has a vote on that because he's probably never even seen it, but
To me, it just strikes me as awkward, compared to the first film.
We're not comparing it to the first movie.
Right.
But you can't
And I
help
like
it.
his voice in Creep Show 2. I like
The voice,
Creep
yeah,
voice. That's what they should do for the new series. We've heard him talk. We know he talks. That's established.
Well, show like that, yeah, you got to have somebody.
But-
you got to have a narrator.
And also, weird to me is they show you the comic book, and in the comic book he's talking. They have word bubbles,
Right.
but yet the creep's not ever talking on episodes. So
Well, let me ask you guys this: with Tales from the Crypt, the TV series, when you first saw the Crypt Keeper, did it strike you a little odd as the Crypt Keepers you were used to seeing beforehand or reading? Was it a little different, or were you just all in?
I thought it was a chick for a long time, as opposed to the Crypt Keeper in the Amicus movie.
I
I don't even know if I could compare it to that. I mean, I guess I didn't even draw a correlation between the movie and the show at the time. Seemed like some all new shit with the same name. What do you think?
I think what they ought to do is, well, to answer your question, I didn't even think about that. I mean, I just thought that it was awesome. I thought that the HBO show was amazing, and I still do. I still pull them out and watch them. I think someone should do a version of Haunt of Fear to make the old witch the star. I think it's time she had the spotlight. She's a great character.
Yeah.
Everything's all about female characters now, so you get that in there. You could cast one of these older actresses, like, I don't know, what's her name that was in Swamp Thing and in Creep
Adrienne
Show?
Barbeau.
There you go. Cast Adrienne Barbeau as the old witch. How cool would that be?
It'd be. I mean, she would have to commit to being old. Then even though she's old, I think she still retains some air of youth about her. It's weird.
Well, you gotta have the makeup with the big eye and the wrinkles and everything. So
Yeah, you gotta look at Ghastly's work. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you gotta have that.
That's
So
great
whoever
work.
it is
Ah.
gonna have to be in makeup. So
Yeah.
how cool would that be?
Oh, that would definitely be cool.
Either she could do it or Barbara Crampton. I mean,
Barbara Crampton would be perfect.
she's gone home about all this stuff. She still wants to do stuff like this. So
Debbie Rochon could do it.
yeah,
Did you see our interview with Debbie Rochon?
I did.
That was a classic. That one.
that is the best.
Debbie is super cool.
Yeah, no doubt.
And
I
love
don't
that
think she had
that-
any idea who she was talking to. We just convinced her to do this gag on Joe. She did it to a T. It was pretty awesome. I think he literally thought the police were coming to his house.
I bought it.
Hell, I bought it. I was the one that set it up.
Let me ask you this too, because there's something I thought of. Was there a time in your life, in your childhood, into all this stuff, and Gino, you too, where you were big into horror and monsters, but did you ever think that you would grow out of it? Because an example I have is, watching Salem's Lot, the original run in '78, and when the father asked Mark, when are you going to grow out of this stuff? And Mark says, well, eventually. I was frightened. I don't want to grow out of this stuff. I want this stuff forever. What, you can grow out of this? Is that an option? Did you ever think of that, or did that ever bother you, or who the hell cares? Just go in.
Never really thought about it. I mean, I kind of put it on a back burner a little bit during the college years, more into comic, although I was all into comic book art at the time. but the horror stuff a little bit more the back seat, and then also just, you know, partying and chasing girls and whatever. You know, he's doing all that other stuff. So, but then it slowly crept back, you know.
Okay.
My dad told me that I would grow out of it. He was an asshole.
Well, you proved him wrong.
He said when you're older, you won't care about this anymore. And I was like, you know what, you're fucking crazy. And he was wrong, and I was right. But
once I started DJing everywhere, the horror stuff kind of took a sideline. But my father and mother were still there. You know, you want to go to a movie, you want another book, you know, it was still there. So thankfully, and then the first wife tried to get me out of it.
you can have more than one interest.
That's why she's the ever, right?
No, my father was, oh my God. If you had like something that you were into, he would be like, oh yeah, you're not going to be into that. Let's just ruin that for you right now. So I made a mental note to always be into it.
He's laughing.
I had a dad who was an asshole too, you know.
Do what?
I said I had a dad who was an asshole too about that kind of.
I thought your dad was like the awesome dad, though. He had that awesome story.
He had his moments, but yeah, everything was your moron friends and why are you doing? Whenever the band would practice in the basement, you know, he'd be like, if you guys could start a song together and end a song together, you'd really have something.
Well, you see, that's awesome. My
I hate
dad
to
would have
hear
been
that.
like, you are not allowed to play music in this house.
Right. Yeah, right. At least he didn't do that.
Well, that makes me sad to hear that. Really, shit.
Oh, sometimes you need the challenge. It's like, oh, I'm not going to be into it. Watch this, motherfucker. That drove me. No, I mean, probably like Dr. Gangrene, I spent a little time in the early band years where I didn't really have much access to, you know, watch things. I was doing, you know, gigs all the damn time. So there was a period there, maybe 5 or 6 years where I lost track with it, and then got back out and started, you know, DVD collections and all that, and was always into it and always would have said I was into it, but just didn't keep touch with it for a while. And to be honest, I was after the, you know, 80s VCR craze, and you had all the Friday the 13th, you saw all that shit a million times. It just seemed appropriate to take a break. And then that was around the time that shit like the Universal movies, which were never available for a long time, started coming back out. And then, okay, now you can watch the classics. There was a long period where you couldn't get like Hammer movies.
No.
You would get like this one or that one, but you wouldn't get like all of them to be able to watch. And certainly nothing like it is now with streaming.
But DVD just it broke down all the doors, and just now these obscure movies you never even knew existed are finally in your face. Oh, I've got to check that out. I've got to check that out. And it's, you know, I'm glad I never grew out of this. That's why I will every week order $100 worth of movies, another $200 worth of T-shirts. It never ends. It's a midlife crisis. I'm probably
Vinny's gonna have to buy a second house to put all his clothes. And I was wondering what your top 2 or 3 Bava movies were, Dr. Gangrene.
Black Sabbath, number 1. Black Sunday's good too, right? That's the Barbara Steele one with the mask that gets hammered on her face at the beginning.
That's Black Sunday.
Okay, so both of the Black movies.
Black movies.
I dig both of those. Those would be my Black Sabbath would be number 1 for sure. I mean, I love that movie. And Karloff's in it, and it's an anthology film.
No, I agree. That's my favorite of all the Bava stuff.
It's got very striking images too. You know, I mean, the first story's great, but those second and third, it's horror history.
Well,
yeah, and the order's different in the U.S. print, than
right?
the Italian print. And I like the U.S. order better. Maybe because that's the way I first saw it. You know, I prefer it.
Well, what about there's a different cut for each one of those too. It's not the same verse, especially the Giallo one. It's got some scenes in the American one that don't appear in the European one, which add a whole different dimension. You don't see the outside of where she lives in the European version, which makes it a little bit scarier, I think. But in the U.S. version, she goes outside and you see it's like an apartment complex, which is kind of weird.
And I know Karloff's host bits are different in each version.
Oh, completely. Yeah. There's that little bit at the end where they show him on the fake horse and guys running by with the branches.
Yeah.
Why would they take that out of the European thing? It's like a little bonus to kind of, you just got the shit scared out of you. Here's something to laugh at.
Well, that's in my European version.
Yeah, I don't think
it's in the European version, but not the U.S. version.
Yeah.
U.S. version just cuts to black. He doesn't come back at the end. And the other thing is the music in both of them are completely different.
Right.
And do you guys have a preference in that regard?
I've never seen the U.S. version, so I wouldn't know.
You've never seen the U.S. version of Black Sabbath?
No, I don't think I want to now.
How many times have you seen the European version?
Tons. It's a must-watch every October.
Well, you got a treat coming up in the next 6 days or so. But the U.S. one is very strange in that the Karloff bit is completely different. It's very cool in the U.S. one. That's almost part of you wish that was in the European one. But
they start with Drop of Water in the U.S. version. That's the first story.
The music, it seems to me like the music in the European version of Drop of Water is more more dreadful than the US one. But everybody I talked to was like, no, I definitely like the US version better.
Drop of Water's gonna be last. You got to build up.
Yeah, that was the first one and the US one. But the cut that I have has that at the end.
What's the ending of the US version? US version is the water lack.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So see, I thought that was a great last.
Oh, it definitely, it would be better than the telephone.
Yeah.
Either way, either version. I mean, if you've only seen one for a while, it's good to watch the other one because that's when you can really find out that the big difference between the two. I think if you're cutting back and forth and seeing them both, you probably don't notice the differences. It's just a really weird deal.
And Gino, you said there was a full movie based on the Word of Lack, and it wasn't that good.
There is a movie, and I saw it on Amazon that is a full version of the Vertilac. I forget what it's called, but I watched it and it was not very good, but definitely worth checking out either way. I'll have to look it up and find the name of it.
And that scene with the little boys crying out on the door, and then he's got his hands up against the wall, it's the back, and the camera just coming in. That's things like that.
Well, the whole thing is the mood of the photography in that.
What do you think, Jimmy?
I like pork chops.
Jimmy's waiting for us to talk about Star Wars again.
Is there Star Wars here?
Yeah. When I'm half deaf as we're talking in these shows and I miss a lot of stuff that's said. And then I recall coming across the portion in the last episode where I didn't hear this live, but I heard Jimmy say that Star Wars was the best Western ever made. And that is an absurd statement.
It plays out like a Western.
It's not the best
Cold War movie. It's the best sci-fi movie. It's the best Western.
Right. You've got a bar scene and a fight in a bar.
I don't doubt that it's based
Han Solo's a fucking cowboy.
Yes.
I don't doubt that there's Western elements to it, but there are Westerns that blow that shit out of the water. Sorry.
I agree with that. And there's only 3 good Star Wars movies, and the rest are fan films.
The rest is garbage. Maybe Rogue One. That one's good. The rest, garbage.
No.
I'm trying to guess what the third one is. Is it the one with Jar Jar Binks? That's Jimmy's favorite character.
Oh.
You definitely have some trails going on tonight, Jimmy. Do you see those?
Trail mix.
Do I have any? No, I don't have them.
You got trails.
Just Jimmy.
Let me put my special goggles on.
Happy trails,
Oh my
Jimmy.
God.
Yes. Oh boy. So it's definitely weird having gone 2 years now without doing the horror hootenanny. It's always seemed like a big to do. It took a lot of work. I mean, some people involved that are outside of the circle of what you and I did probably didn't realize how much shit went into that.
Absolutely.
It was a major production. And when it comes back, I'm wondering where can we possibly even, I don't think that brewery's around anymore, is it?
Oh, I don't know.
I think they're gone. It might be back to the end yet again.
I would love if we could do an outside thing. If we could find a way to do an outside show. I mean, of course, you got weather to think about, rain or cold, but
I would certainly wouldn't want to commit to a band with money and then do it outside because of the inevitable rain out that you'll have in that situation.
yeah.
So
It would be cool though if you could.
Oh, if you could
somehow-
find a night that it was guaranteed to be nice out, absolutely. And we can have the next one at Jimmy's house.
Fuck yeah.
Well, let's do it.
Right.
Bring it on.
He's catering.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
pork chops.
Jimmy will be making all the food. So, Vinny, you saw Jimmy's CRUDDY TikTok last week. Do you want more TikTok or do you want more cuisines?
It's whatever he wants to do.
Oh,
He never ceases to amaze me.
The TikTok is interesting, I guess. And it gives
good to
Jimmy
switch it
the
up.
out to actually spend any time putting any effort into anything.
That took some time. I had to get that dog involved. I had to get the dog's agent involved. I had to have the dog sign a contract. I had to bring craft services in for the dog. It doesn't just happen.
Well, that episode will be called Jimmy's CRUDDY's dog before it's all over. Following a dog around while he fucking goes to the bathroom. While she goes to the bathroom.
Get her pronouns right, Gene.
So, Dr. Gangrene, on your left shoulder, what books are those?
That is one step beyond DVDs.
Oh, okay.
TV series, Karloff's Thriller that I mentioned before.
And they show Thriller on MeTV right now, don't they? Comes on after
Yes.
It comes on after Alfred Hitchcock.
Well, they were showing it. Is it late at night? Is that when that
Yes,
comes
it's
on?
pretty late.
Yeah, like Sunday nights only, I think.
Right. I've caught it here and there. There's definitely some good stuff that they show on there.
I think it's one of the best TV series of all time as far as the horror anthology stuff goes. A lot of the stories are based on Weird Tales writers. Stories from Weird Tales writers did either the screenplays or it's based on their stories. And so it's sort of like a live action Weird Tales in a lot of ways.
That's going to be my next purchase then. Yeah.
Great. Not all of them are horror, but the ones that are really good. And of course, you get Karloff introduced in every episode. So and he's in, I think, 6 episodes as well. As a lot of Karloff.
Yeah, no, they're good. Even the ones that are just mysteries or whatever are definitely good.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like one of those things that for a long time didn't get talked about. So it's like a newer finds, I guess you want to call it that, or rediscovery.
Yeah, would you say that's your favorite? Your favorite of all the.
I really like Night Gallery a lot. Also, big Night Gallery fan. No Comets showing that one, and of course Twilight Zone. But as far as the horror stuff goes, Night Gallery and Thriller, Tales from the Crypt. I do like the new Creep Show. You asked me about that. I do like it. It's just they're a little awkward. They don't white play. I think they're still finding their footing. I think they're sort of starting to settle in now into what it will become. That first season seemed like they were kind of trying to figure out what they wanted to do with it.
Oh, then they have a couple of different directors and they were just going in different directions and stuff.
But I do like it. I'm glad it's there. I'd rather have it than not have it.
I can't complain about any of it. I mean, it's not the best stuff that ever existed by any means, but I mean, shit, compared to a lot of the movies that are out these days, more of the same old shit over and over.
And obviously their budget is way, way less than what even Tales from the Crypt had for theirs.
Yeah.
So what did you guys think of Masters of Horror on Showtime?
Yeah, no, that's good. I mean, it's been ages since I've seen it.
Yeah.
I have a couple of them on DVD. Yeah, the one where the baby's floating down the river.
Imprint. Yeah.
That's one that Jimmy should watch for sure.
Okay.
There's laser guns.
Do you remember the last time if you did our quiz stuff?
We did, yeah.
What did we do? Just like a couple questions, right? So it's a whole new experience now.
Oh, okay.
And we got,
Definitely going to feel way better about yourself. After.
yes, you can definitely feel way better about it.
Ready.
So we'll cut to the music quiz if you're up for it.
Sure, yeah.
Science in these things. I can't see anything. Is this supposed
Yeah,
to
you
stop
need to take
the
those off,
lightning?
Jimmy.
Huh?
Yeah, it's better if you take them off to look for things. All right, so now the music quiz is mutated into 6 individual questions. It's 3 music ones and 3 movie quotes. And I think maybe the way it changed since the last time you did this was we have the lifelines, and that's going to be Vinny and Jimmy. If you're not sure, just say, I want to use my lifeline and pick one of those guys and they can help you.
Okay.
That make any sense?
Yes.
Like we're asking the master of horror if he can, if he needs help for horror movies, and
Probably will. Mine tends to go blank pretty often.
every time somebody says that, they come close to getting all of them. All right, so we'll start with the song lyrics. I'll read a couple lines from a song. All you have to do is look at Jimmy's silver skull and tell me the next line in the song, the name of the band and the name of the song. Okay, the first lyrics are, we go dancing nightly in the attic while the moon is rising in the sky. If I'm too rough, tell me. What is the next line? Name of the band, name of the song.
It's Alice Cooper, and it's Scared Your Little Head Will Come Off in My Hands.
That's correct. What's the song?
$1 Billion Babies.
That's it. You got the entire thing correct.
Nice.
Look at that. 1 for 1,
Cooper.
right out the gate.
I did not go see him last night.
Oh, no, neither did I.
I saw him the last couple of times. So.
He's been around a bunch lately. We got to see them when they did the original band at the TPAC too. So
Yes, I was right down by you on that one, I think. Is that the
we
one?
got people creeping in and flipping birds here again. Here they come.
It's a big problem. Hey.
The bird flipper. All right, so you're 1 for 1. The second verse is, I send my murdergram to all these monster kids. It comes right back to me. What is the next line? Name of the band, name of the song.
I send my what?
I send my murdergram to all these monster kids. It comes right back to me.
I had to go with the lifeline on Jimmy on that one because I just don't know.
Could you sing it like the song, maybe?
I send my murdergram to all these monster kids. It comes right back to me.
That's definitely Kid Rock, right?
Yeah, that's Kid Rock. Do you know Vinny? Can you help him out?
Is it Nickelback?
It is not Nickelback.
It's Rush.
Okay, I would have to guess Murdergrams and Monster Kid. It's going to be somebody newer.
Yeah.
Let's go with.
I'll give you a hint. I would never use some new stuff that nobody knows.
Is it a Rob Zombie song?
Nope, it's not Rob Zombie. I send my murdergram to all these monster kids. It comes right back to me, signed in their parents' blood. All hell breaks loose by the Misfits.
Oh, yeah.
I never knew those lyrics.
You know,
Okay.
I figured you would. It's such a great lyric.
I know. I you know how I am. I love some.
Mr. Misfit. All right. So 1-1.
Okay.
So let's see if we can break up these lyrics and go 2-1. The last one is, the lyric is, one cool ghoul call can cure this condition. I'm ringing the late night fright physician. Just ring up the horror phone and dial 13. What's the next line?
Dr. Gangrene from Geno Royd and the Geno Royd Experience.
I can't fool
Fix.
you.
Never
I
heard
can't
of him.
fool you.
Fix.
Did either of you guys know that one?
Yes.
And of course, Jimmy doesn't.
Yes, we did.
A true classic right there.
We'll have to cut in that song and we'll play the
Yeah,
video.
perfect
the
place for
playback.
it.
All right, so you're 2-1 with the music lyrics. Let's go on to the movie quotes.
That was kind of a gimme there, but I'll take it.
And nothing is a gimme. We've done this so many times now. This is episode 56.
Wow.
And people that should be getting stuff don't get it. And people that definitely shouldn't get it have gotten it. So you can never predict what's going to happen. So, all right, let's move on to the movie quotes. There's a theme to this, and you probably figure it out pretty quick. The first movie quote is that one sitting behind you? You can't be too careful, you know. Who said that? And the hint is that they're talking about ghosts. Is that one sitting behind you? You can't be too careful, you know.
I don't know. What do you think, Vinny?
I'll give you another hint. Knowing what I know tonight, there is no way Vinny knows this line.
Is it? I'm just going to guess Michael J. Fox in that. What's that ghost movie?
Frighteners?
No, it's definitely not Frighteners. That hint about Vinny didn't give it away, did it? It's Boris Karloff from the Black Sabbath intro U.S. version.
Of course. We were just
When he's-
talking about it.
He's talking about ghosts. So now we're even 2-2
2-2.
with 2 left. I think you might be able to get this one. The quote is, I think we'll start with a reign of terror. This is an old movie. I think we'll start with a reign of terror. You don't actually see this guy when he says it. He's not on screen.
Oh, is that is that Flash Gordon?
No, you guys help him? Anybody?
Would that be
Lamar from Blazing Saddles.
No.
would that be the Invisible Man?
It is the Invisible Man.
Okay.
Well, yeah, we'll give you that one.
First list there for a minute when you said
He's not on screen when you hear that. So
that's true.
it's a great quote, and I remember it every time he says it. But then when you read it back, it's like, do I know that line? Okay, so the last one, you're 3-2 with the help of the guys here. The final quote is, I'm not going to say the person's name that's referenced in it because that gives it away. But the quote is, "The phone is dead. Did you hear that? Even the phone is dead." This is also a classic, a very old classic. The phone is dead. Do you hear that? Even the phone is dead.
Oh, it's not Black Christmas.
You want help from one of these guys, or
Yeah. What do you think, Vinny?
It's gonna piss me off once he tells me what it is.
you don't know it?
Hmm.
I'll give you another hint. This movie has 2 of the biggest horror actors of all time in it facing off.
Black Cat?
It is the Black Cat. Karloff says it to Lugosi.
Nice.
You went 3-3. Looking at them now, they were more difficult movie quotes, but figured, with your background, you might have been able to swing those. I probably wouldn't have got them either. I probably would have drawn a blank on them. But.
Well, it's been a while since I watched Invisible Man, and
See, now Jimmy just had a hair trail. Did you see that? Do that thing with the comb again. To the side.
Oh,
Yeah, he's leaving trails all over the place.
there it is.
I'm tripping, man. I'm tripping.
Freak out.
And we will move on to the Nad Libs portion. I'll ask you some word types, and then I'll send the finished story off to Jimmy, and he'll read it back. Give me a number, any number.
6.
A verb, past tense.
Plagued.
Plagued.
A noun.
Dog.
Another verb, past tense.
Ran.
Another noun.
Jimmy.
A proper noun. Another number.
4.
Another number.
9.
An adjective.
Awesome.
Another number.
2.
A distance.
6 feet.
A profane adjective.
Shitty's fine.
I need a verb.
Jumped.
Plural noun.
Bastards.
3 letters consecutively.
D-E-F.
I need an adjective that starts in the letter D.
Deranged is good. Yeah.
A noun that starts in the letter E.
Elephant.
And a verb that starts in the letter F.
Fuck.
Fucked.
A body part.
Finger.
A piece of furniture.
Table.
A profane exclamation.
Damn.
A number.
1,000,000.
Another number.
1.
Liquid. Any liquid.
Beer.
A fruit.
Banana.
Something wet.
Swimming pool.
What was it? A bathroom fixture.
Sink.
Another number.
4.
An animal.
Cat.
A nut, legume, or grain.
Cashew.
A type of leafy plant.
Cabbage.
Body part.
Elbow.
A bodily function.
Farted.
Article of clothing.
Shirt.
Another body part.
Leg.
A first name, anybody's first name.
Jack.
An animal,
Dog.
an extreme adjective.
Gary Sharon.
Yeah. There you go.
Like amazing.
Body part,
Head.
a formal title.
Mr.
Adjective,
Spooky.
a disease ending in S.
Herpes. Okay.
There you go. A type of vehicle.
Hearse.
A celebrity, any celebrity.
Debbie Rochon.
A rock star.
Slash.
Geddy Lee.
A famous news anchor.
Chris Clark. He's an old one.
A sexy starlet.
Let's do Linnea Quigley. Scream Queen.
Something smelly.
Jimmy.
A girl's name.
Jennifer.
A large number.
A billion.
A terrible horror movie.
The Psycho remake.
An irrelevant horror actor.
Skeet Ulrich.
There you go.
A body part.
An eye.
A Mexican food item.
Taco.
A denomination of money.
10 cents.
So dime. A cute animal.
Puppy.
Garoff.
A major crime.
Arson.
A female's first name.
Joan.
A sports car make, model, whatever.
Mustang.
A terrible band.
Nickelback.
Good choice. A bad actor.
So Nicolas Cage.
It's Nick Cage, not Nick Cave. An item of clothing.
Coat.
An adjective. We're almost done.
Thrilled.
And finally, a bad word.
Shit stain.
Send it over to Jimmy.
I don't have it.
It's coming.
I don't have it. You still haven't sent it?
I have not sent it. I'm just making sure it's readable, Jimmy.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I don't want you to have pink letters.
The Gangrene, I heard you've met Forrest J. Ackerman, too.
I did. I interviewed Forrest, met him at RiverCon up in Kentucky, emailed him beforehand and said, can we get together? He's like, yeah, why don't we meet for breakfast? So we had breakfast the day of the interview, met him down in the lobby. And then afterwards, I did a couple of interviews with him. It's cool.
I forgot one thing here. I need a large jungle animal.
A tiger.
I got it.
I don't know if a tiger is actually in the jungle. Is tigers in the jungle?
Tiger in the Outhouse.
Yeah.
You guys ever read that book?
Lying.
All right, it's sent. This is the most ridiculous story ever written.
All right.
And you can actually get one of your director friends and turn this into a movie. We'll let you own the actual license for this.
It should be
It's a great story.
Yes.
Well, we'll see, won't we?
I think it would make a great movie.
Would you like me to read this?
That would be great.
I got you.
In one of your many accents.
Dr. Gangrene gets pissed off. One morning, Dr. Gangrene woke up with something on his mind. I've been a horror host for 6 long years, and all that time I've never plagued a dog or ran a Jimmy. I've been in 4 bands, written 9 awesome books, hosted 2 horror hootenannies, and starred in so many movies, my IMDb is 6 inches long. I deserve some shitty recognition. After all, I am Dr. Gangrene. Because it was still dark outside, Dr. Gangrene tripped over one of his many Rondo awards and twisted his nasty knee on his way out the door to his day job. Jumping bastards for the DEF, aka the deranged elephant fuckers. Dr. Gangrene was mad as hell as he whipped out his finger and slammed it on the table. Damn, that hurts! Dr. Gangrene was already having a bad day. By the time he arrived at work, he was already 1 million minutes late. All the coffee was gone. In lieu of coffee, he crushed up 1 caffeine tablet into a cup filled with beer, squeezed banana juice in a cup of swimming pool he scooped from sink in the employee's bathroom. It tasted terrible, but he chugged it all down, which made his penis hurt like hell for 45 minutes. To quell the pain, he ate 4 Advils. All of his coworkers chopped cashew butter breakfast sandwiches and smoked all of his cabbage cigarettes. This meal made his elbow so swollen he could barely fart. Dr. Gangrene marched into his boss's office, tore off his shirt, whipped out his leg, and shouted, "I'm done, Jack. I can only take so much. You dog, I quit." And just like that, Dr. Gangrene was unemployed. He wasn't really unemployed because everyone knows Dr. Gangrene is an amazing horror host. And for his wild new portion of his career, he would choose a new name. He pondered things for a while, scratched his head, then shouted, "Eureka! I will be called Mr. Spooky Herpes." Got in his car and drove straight to the TV station. Little did he know that the brakes on his hearse were worn out, and he accidentally ended up driving right through the front door of the studio. It was a horrific accident that ended up killing Debbie Rochon / TV's Chris Clark and maiming Linnea Quigley so bad she would be disfigured for life. The police arrived immediately and opted to give Mr. Spooky Herpes a breathalyzer on the spot. They found no drugs and no alcohol in his system, but he was clearly inspired from being hopped up on caffeine and cabbage, aka Jennifer as it is known on the street. Mr. Spooky Herpes was mad as hell and demanded that the cops acknowledge his contributions to the world of horror entertainment. "I have 1 billion Rondo awards and I demand to be released this very minute." Mr. Spooky Herpes was subsequently booked and tossed into a cell. The door clinked behind him, and it was that moment that Mr. Spooky Herpes knew he would be all alone that night. He would not be hosting the Psycho remake or interviewing Skeet Ulrich or yapping about all those movies of John Agar. Instead, he would be all alone with his thoughts. His thoughts and that sexy little number in the adjoining jail cell next to him, Jimmy's mom, who had been busted earlier in the evening offering bargain rate eye jobs and selling her vibrating pocket taco to undercover cops. With a purse full of dimes and a dripping wet puppy, that was a close one, she was booked on soliciting and arson. People don't call me Jimmy's mom. On the street, I go by Joan Mustang. Mr. Spooky Herpes took one look at Joan Mustang and fell immediately in love. They wound up talking all night about their favorite Nickelback records and movies featuring Nick Cage. Joan Mustang couldn't help but notice what appeared to be a tiger in Mr. Spooky Herpes' coat. This was her dream man. By night's end, the couple was engaged. Great. Just what I needed. Mr. Spooky Herpes decided to take his old job back and get his brakes fixed on his chilled car. Later, he texted Jimmy to tell him he was going to be his new dad. Jimmy was so happy. He replied immediately with, "I can't believe I'm going to be the son of Mr. Spooky Herpes." No, Jimmy, I'm not Mr. Spooky Herpes. I'm Dr. Gangrene. And I have a shit-stained load of Rondo awards. Thank the good Lord for Dr. Gangrene.
Amazing. Yeah.
Oh, I made it through it. Man, I can't believe you changed your name to Mr. Spooky Herpes.
Yeah, that's pretty fucked up.
Who wouldn't? I mean, come on.
My mom would, apparently.
Oh, yeah, Joan Mustang's all over that shit.
Joan Mustang.
And you're Jimmy's dad now, so that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, there is that. He can cook for me at least.
That's right.
There you go. We can do some cuisining. Speaking of, is there a Jimmy's CRUDDY TikTok this week?
There will be a video of some sort. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to make some food or if I'm going to do another TikTok because I really like TikTok.
Your fan viewership is wondering what's going to happen.
I'm sure they're on with bated breath. There will be a video of some sort. I haven't decided yet if I'm going to make some food or if I'm going to do another TikTok because I really like TikTok.
Your fan viewership is wondering what's going to happen. Will there be a Monster Minute this week from Vinny?
Sure, why not?
Should we go to the
Let's
clip?
go to the clip.
Let's go to the clip. I'm really upset. I'm really upset now. A little bit frazzled. I just got kicked out of that CVS. Okay. And it's gonna be kind of hard because that's where I get my meds. So where am I gonna buy my Spanish Fly now? So I got kicked out for protesting something happening there, and it's happening in numerous stores everywhere. Okay. So for the past few weeks, 1 or 2 shelves of Halloween stuff. Okay, and 3 or more aisles of Christmas crap. Christmas. So I started yelling, throwing shit on the floor, and maybe I pulled down my pants and defecated on everything. Okay, I did. All right. So I got thrown out. This is our holiday. October's our holiday. Okay. Christmas, get out of here. Santa Claus, he's a kid toucher. Okay. He gets a boner every time you put your kids on his lap. Okay. Wake up. Frosty the Snowman, freaking cokehead. Okay. Rudolph, it's a goddamn rabies-infected animal, okay? It's not fair, man, okay? Christmas is shit. Christmas is for slut.
What about Chris's earworm? He got an earwig and an earworm.
It's earwig.
Hey there, everybody. This week's earworm is one of my favorite Halloween novelty songs. It's The Thing by Phil Harris. No, not the dearly departed captain of the Cornelia Marie from Deadliest Catch, but Phil Harris, the guy who made the song The Thing. I'll post a link in the comments, as usual. Cheers!
All right. right. Is Bo gonna ever do anything? Or do I need to hook him up with Alan?
I was supposed to do that, wasn't I?
We should check with Dr. Gangrene if he has anything that the world wants to know that's coming up in the coming months.
We talked about the live appearances at the end of the month. I'll be doing a show at the drive-in up in Franklin, Kentucky on the 23rd. The week before that is Belcourt is showing their 12 Hours of Terror, their annual 12-hour movie marathon that they do. I'll be there introducing at least one of the movies. The next week is the 23rd at Franklin. I know we're showing Halloween Kill, but we're not sure what they're showing with it.
And when you say Franklin, you're talking about Franklin, Kentucky, right?
Correct.
It's not going to be Franklin, Tennessee, right? We're here where we are. It's going to be some other state.
That's right. Franklin, Kentucky. But it's just barely over the state line. I mean, literally. And I think he's going to show the short Dr. Gangrene, Dreadful Halloween special movie also.
Oh, cool.
The following week will be the Groove Record Shop that I talked about. And then, of course, my TV show every Saturday, 9 o'clock on Kneecat.
That's it for this week, weirdos. I want to thank, as always, the gorgeous and talented Vinny for joining us again, the amazing Gino Royd, and thank you for your second appearance, Dr. Gangrene.
Woohoo!
Very welcome. Thank you for having me on, guys.
Thanks for coming by.
I send my love around to all